Hi guys, this is 8.7, product to sum and sum to product. This is probably one of the easier sections in chapter 8, so enjoy. Before we get started for objective number 1, we have to learn the product to sum formulas. And what we have is we have two trig functions multiplied together, and we're going to see how to rewrite that as two functions being added or subtracted. For instance, sine alpha times sine beta equals 1/2 cosine alpha minus beta minus cosine alpha plus beta. And then we also have cosine alpha times cosine beta equals 1/2 cosine alpha minus beta plus cosine alpha plus beta. And finally we have cosine alpha times cosine beta equals 1/2 sine alpha plus beta plus sine alpha minus beta. Alright, so let's go see how this works. So this is our first problem on the bottom of the page, and it says express the given product as a sum containing only sines and cosines. The problem states sine 9 theta times sine 3 theta. Alright, for starters, I know alpha is 9 theta because that's the first angle that I see, and then beta is 3 theta. So I need that information before I start. And I also know that sine alpha times sine beta equals 1/2 cosine alpha minus beta minus cosine alpha plus beta. Alright, so all I'm going to do is plug and chug. So I have 1/2 cosine, now I need alpha. Alpha we said was 9 theta. Minus beta, which is 3 theta, minus cosine of alpha, which is 9 theta, plus beta, which is 3 theta. Alright, so if we do the math, we get 1/2 cosine of 6 theta minus cosine of 12 theta. And there's nothing that I can do beyond that because 6 theta and 12 theta are not like terms. So therefore, I am finished. So that is your answer. Okay, let's look at the next page. So it's another problem where we have to use those product to sum formulas. I know in this case it says express the given product as a sum containing only sines and cosines. We have cosine of 3 theta times cosine of 9 theta. So alpha is 3 theta. Just took that value there. And beta is 9 theta. So I'm just taking this value here. Now I'm going to use the formula cosine alpha times cosine beta equals 1/2 cosine alpha minus beta plus cosine alpha plus beta. Okay. Alright, and next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug and chug just to make sure this works. So let's do this. So we have 1/2 cosine alpha is 3 theta minus 9 theta plus cosine 3 theta plus 9 theta. Okay, so 1/2 cosine of negative 6 theta plus cosine of 12 theta. Alright, cosine is even. So this negative goes away, and I'm left with 1/2 cosine 6 theta plus cosine 12 theta. And now I'm done. Okay, so there's your answer. Alright, let's go ahead and go on to the next page, which is actually the bottom of page 2. Express the given product as a sum containing only sines and cosines. We have sine of 8 theta times cosine 6 theta. So once again, alpha equals 8 theta and beta equals 6 theta. Okay, so sine alpha times cosine beta equals 1/2 sine alpha plus beta plus sine alpha minus beta. Okay, so let's plug those in. 1/2 sine alpha is 8 theta plus beta is 6 theta plus sine alpha is 8 theta minus 6 theta. Okay, so we get 1/2 sine of 14 theta plus sine of 2 theta, and we're done. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so objective 2 asks us to express sums as products. So here are the formulas. It says sine A plus sine B equals 2 sine alpha plus beta over 2 times cosine alpha minus beta over 2. Sine alpha sine alpha minus sine beta equals 2 sine alpha minus beta over 2 times cosine alpha plus beta over 2. If we're adding two cosine angles together, cosine alpha plus cosine beta, we can rewrite it as a product of 2 cosine alpha plus beta over 2 times cosine alpha minus beta over 2. And finally, if we're subtracting two angles, we have cosine alpha minus cosine beta is equal to the product of -2 sine alpha plus beta over 2 times sine alpha minus beta over 2. All right, so let's go ahead and try this next one. Express the given sum or difference as a product of sines or cosines. So we have sine 3 theta minus sine theta. So alpha equals 3 theta and beta equals 1 theta. Okay, so the formula, sine alpha minus sine beta equals 2 sine alpha minus beta over 2 times cosine alpha plus beta over 2. So let's plug that in. So once again, we get 2 sine, okay, alpha, remember, is 3 theta, minus beta, which is theta, over 2, times cosine alpha, which is 3 theta, plus beta, which is theta, over 2. So we get 2 sine of 2 theta over 2 times cosine of 4 theta over 2. Simplifying this out, I get 2 sine theta cosine 2 theta. And now I'm done. So that's my answer. And I'm going to go ahead on to the next one. So express the given sum or difference as a product of sines and or cosines. Okay, so alpha is 2 theta and beta equals 4 theta. So cosine alpha plus cosine beta equals 2 cosine alpha plus beta over 2 times cosine alpha minus beta over 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug and play. So we get 2 cosine, alpha, remember, is 2 theta, and beta is 4 theta, so I'm going to add those two together over 2. And then I'm going to subtract, I have cosine alpha, which is 2 theta, minus 4 theta, all over 2. So what do I get? I get 2 cosine 6 theta over 2 times cosine of -2 theta over 2. Remember, cosine is even. So that means that the negative goes away, and I'm going to simplify and take that negative off. So the first one is 6 theta over 2, which simplifies down to 3 theta. And then the second one here, remember, it becomes positive, and 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with cosine theta. So my answer is 2 cosine 3 theta cosine theta. And there you go, voila. So that is the end of 8.7. Okay, and the next one you guys have to watch is Chapter 9.